The Beats Studio Pro are better than the Sony XM5s. Yes, you heard that right, and yes, it's probably going to get tasty in the comments. I recently compared the Beats Studio Pro to the Bose QC45s, and the Beats Studio Pro won just. And I thought that would be a massively unpopular opinion, but it wasn't. However, I don't think this one will be quite as popular, because if there's one thing I've learned in all my time reviewing headphones, it's that if you say anything bad about a pair of Sony headphones, the Sony headphone people really do come at you. But I don't really care, and today I'm going to give you 5 reasons the Beats Studio Pro are better than the Sony XM5s, apart from one detail which I'll get to later. But before I get started, although this video isn't sponsored, I do have some fantastic brand partners that help me make these free videos. One of them is Brain FM, which is a fantastic productivity music app. And I'm not going to say anything about it apart from the fact that it has made me more productive than I've ever been. It's just magical. Basically, just click that link in the description, guys. Trust me, it is utterly mind-blowing. Right, let's get onto this comparison. The first thing is what I would call safe evolution, and what I mean by that is that Beats tend to stick with what they know. A great example of this is design. Beats Studio headphones have looked like this for years. And yes, there's loads of colour options, but if you see a pair of Beats Studio headphones, you know that's what they are straight away. By comparison, Sony tries to reinvent things, and the change in design from the XM4s to the XM5s is quite stark, and it has put off quite a few people. Then we have sound, and I know this is subjective, I'm always saying that, but I think the changes that Sony has made to the XM5s makes them sound worse than the XM4s, whereas Beats have iterated the sound over many years, and objectively, I think it sounds so much better than it did 10 years ago. I think when it comes to headphones, taking that safe approach to iteration and redesigning is really important. Next up, we have my favourite topic ever, which is the headphone case. And in the past, I've said that the headphone case is the most important aspect of a pair of headphones. Of course it isn't. I'm just having a bit of fun with Sony people with that, it makes me laugh. But it is an incredibly important aspect of any pair of headphones. Now, obviously, there is an exception to that rule. If you don't take your headphones out of your house, or if you just leave them in your office, then the headphone case is utterly irrelevant. But for most people, if you carry your headphones around, the case is, well, it has to be small, it has to have enough room for the headphones and other stuff, and it needs to protect the headphones. The Beats Studio Pro do that with what I think is the best headphone case on the market right now. It looks like a small wash bag, and everyone that I know who has bought the Beats Studio Pro says the same thing, which is that the case is an unexpected masterpiece. The Sony XM5 case is the size of my car, and the reason it is so astronomically big is because the headphones don't fold correctly. These fold properly in half basically, which means they can go into that lovely little bag and not be a burden. The Sony XM5 case almost ruins the experience. Next up, you have the way you control the headphones, and this is really simple. The Beats Studio Pro have proper physical buttons for play controls, turning noise cancellation on and off, and switching them on and off. The Sony XM5s do have a couple of buttons, but they rely more so on touch controls, which are just trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. Number 4 on my list is support for high definition audio, and yes, the Sony XM5s have access to LDAC, which is Sony's own codec for not lossless but high definition audio via Bluetooth. But the Beats Studio Pro can be plugged in via the USB-C port and accept proper lossless audio. And no, audiophiles probably aren't going to buy these headphones to listen analytically to stuff, but when you think about it, it makes so much sense. I don't understand why more consumer headphones that have USB-C ports, which is all of them, don't do this. Number 5 on my list is that the Beats Studio Pro have somehow mastered the art of the daily driver headphones. The case, the fit, the comfort, the battery life, the looks which aren't too garish, the sound which isn't completely class leading but does a fantastic job of most types of music. They are such an easy pair of headphones to live with. The Sony XM5s aren't. The Sony XM5s do have one saving grace. If you're after a pair of headphones that have the absolute best noise cancelling on the market and you're willing to make some compromises or accept some compromises for that, they cannot be beaten. The noise cancelling on the XM5s is epic. But for me, the overall winners are definitely the Beats Studio Pro, and just to be clear, I never thought I'd make this video. I always thought Sony would beat Beats. They don't anymore. But I would love to know what you think, so let me know in the comments. And if you've still got some time and you want to see how these compare against the Bose QC45s, hang around for a link to that video.